So I just sat down to film this video. I've got an hour before I need to pick up the kids from school, and my neighbor has decided to cut their lawn. I'm just gonna talk loud and hopefully it won't pick up on the mic. That sounds like a plan. Hey girlies, it's Tammy, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm gonna be going through my favorite cheek products under £10. We have some palettes, we have individuals, we have some cream products. I'm not really a cream blush or highlight type of person, so we're talking cream bronzer. But before we jump into it, I want to let you know that on my eyes, I have my Tropical Carnival palette, of course, and on my lips, I have the Revolution Sheer Lip Gloss in the shade Rosé. This tutorial should be on their channel very soon, so keep your eyes out for that if you are interested. But just in case you want to recreate the look, I use the shade Girlies, the dark purple matte over here. I also use Mass and Pink Panther to kind of blend out into the crease. Then on my lid, I went in with Destiny, which is this dark purple here, and then on the inner corner, I went in with Soca, which is the light purple. So that's how I did the look. You guys know I love a good purple purple pinky eye. Anyways, let's just go ahead and jump straight into this. Should we start with highlight or blush? Let's start with blush. When it comes to blush, I love using palettes just because I like to mix shades. So we have the Nip and Fab blusher palette in the shade Blushed Bright. They do have a lighter shade as well, but this is the palette that shows up on my skin tone, so this is the one that I use. So I typically just kind of swirl my brush into a few and then put it onto my cheeks. Funny enough, I'm not actually wearing blush today. Do you think I should put some on? I'm gonna dab into these two at the bottom here. They're very pigmented, so you literally need the smallest amount, and I'm just gonna put a little bit of that on my cheeks. So I can't be here talking to you guys about my favorite blushes without wearing blush, right? So yeah, as you guys can see, it just is the perfect pigmentation. It's not so bright where it looks like clown blush, but it definitely shows up on my skin tone, which is always a plus. So yeah, love this palette, and it retails for, you can get it basically, Nip and Fab do this £5 sale every now and again. At the moment it is on sale for £5, but originally it is £10.95. Similarly, I don't think you need both of these. You can either pick between them because the shades are very similar. But we have the e.l.f. blush palette as well. This one is a quad of 4, and this one is in the shade dark, so they do have a lighter one, and this is what it looks like. So these are more kind of, I would say, muted blushes slightly. I feel like they're very similar. Like on the skin they're gonna come out the same, so I don't think you need both blush palettes. But this one does have like a shimmery blush down here. This one has slight like gold glitters to it, and then the other three are completely matte. I don't really use this one up here. This is probably the only one in the palette that doesn't really work for my skin tone. There's no orangey blushes in here, so I suppose Nip and Fab does have the upper hand in that situation because they have that orangey peachy blush. But this one is definitely more pinky berry tone, so it would go with looks like this. But if you did like a orangey sunset eye, I don't think these blushes would go along with it because it is such a pinky toned berry toned blush palette. Now with this palette, it is £6 on Superdrug, but it is currently sold out. But it is available on the e.l.f. UK website for £7.50, so I don't know why it's cheaper on Superdrug, but yeah, it is available on e.l.f.'s website, or you could just wait for Superdrug to come back in stock and get it for £6. Another blush palette which I absolutely love is by a brand called Technic. Like guys, this brand is so underrated in my opinion. I feel like they should at least be in Superdrug. They should be on the high street because the quality of their products and the price is amazing. So yeah, this is the Jungle Fever palette, and it has blushes, but it also has highlighters in here. I feel like these blushes up here have slight shimmer to it. Once again, when I do use this, I kind of just swirl all 4 of these together, or if I'm doing like a pinky purpley blush, I'll swirl these 2 together. This does have a peachy blush up here. This one I've never used because it is so light, and I think this one I haven't used either. No, so for highlighter I use these 2, and then for blush I'll like use these 4. But guys, this palette, it retails for £7 on the Technic official website, but they do resell their makeup to like websites like Fragrance Direct, which, you know, is kind of like TK Maxx. They do, what's the word, they like resell makeup for cheaper. So this palette is actually £2.99 on Fragrance Direct. I mean, 8 blushes, highlighters for £2.99 is crazy. So here's 4 of the shades from this palette swatched. I don't know why I didn't swatch the last 2. I will go back and do that for you guys, but this is what they look like. So those 2 highlighters are these 2 on the end, and then these 2 blushes are these 2 at the bottom. So yeah, so from the Nip and Fab palette, here are 2 shades. I just swatched the 2 at the bottom, and that is what they look like, very pigmented. And then there you have the 2 from the e.l.f. palette, these 2 fingers here. So very pigmented blushes, which is always good when it comes to deeper skin tone, because you want the blush to show up basically. And last but not least, for blush palettes, I have these 2 from Revolution Pro. I think you can tell which one I use the most. It's definitely the peach one. I mean, my makeup grubby hands have been all over it. I love orangey blushes on an everyday basis, and these ones are just perfect to show up on deeper skin tones. These tones are absolutely beautiful. They give the warmth. I love orangey blushes because they give like a warmth to my skin. The only shade that I don't use in this palette is this shimmery one up here. Let me swatch it. Actually, I don't think I've ever swatched it. So it is like a shimmery blush, which I don't typically gravitate towards. I have used shimmery blushes before, but usually for like testing videos, nothing that I go out of my way to use every day. But the other shades in this palette are matte, so I'm gonna go ahead and swatch them for you. So there we have the 3 shades from this palette, the matte shades anyway. The one in the middle is like the deepest orangey shade, and then the other 2, I find it's nice to mix into the deeper shade just to add a touch of something different. Typically I do stick to these 2. Like when I reach for this palette, I kind of just dab into those 2. I don't really use this one down here, but yeah, I love this palette, and this palette is £6. They also have a pinky one, which is called literally pink, and it is bright pink shades. I don't use this one as much. I do feel like when I want to go for a pink, I do typically reach for the Nip and Fab palette over this one. I'm not quite sure why. They're very, very similar, but I just tend to reach for this one more. This one is a good quality palette. Like the pigmentation is there. The depth of the blush is definitely going to work for deeper skin, which I love, but I don't know why I don't find myself reaching for it, but I wanted to show it to you guys just in case you are into pinky blushes. So those are the blushes that I reach for all the time, even if they weren't under £10. These are just the ones that I use, like I gravitate towards. As soon as I open my blush drawer, I'm like, yeah, that one. Okay, so let's move on to bronzers before we do highlighters. So for bronzers, now when it comes to bronzers from the drugstore, or you know, cheap alternative, affordable, not alternative, affordable cheap bronzers are really kind of hard to find for my skin tone and deeper. So the only 2 brands that I could find for cheap, of course, you have like the new Benefit Hoola bronzer, you have face powders from Too Faced that you can use, there's Fenty Beauty bronzers, but they're all of course higher end. When it comes to the drugstore, I think Sleek and Makeup Revolution kind of have bronzers for deeper skin tones, but they're not really marketed as bronzers. Sleek calls it contour, and then Revolution just uses like a face powder that I use as a bronzer, if you know what I mean. They're not really called bronzers. So let's just start with Sleek. So Sleek have a face contour kit, and I think this came out obviously when everyone was contouring. I really wish they kind of updated their contours to include bronzing colors, like warm orangey colors, but this is the contour kit anyway, and this is the shade Dark. So you get a highlighter on one side and then a contour color on the other side. So of course the contour is cool toned. It's meant to be like a shadow on your face, not really like a warmth glow. That's the difference between bronzer and contour. Contour is like a cool shadowy color, whereas bronzer is like a warmth, your skin but warmer glow to your skin type of thing. So yeah, this is a contour palette. It's not really a bronzer, but it is deep enough if you did want to kind of sculpt your face and add dimension to your face. You can definitely use this. I think this is £6.50. Another product that I love from Sleek, this one I do use quite often. This is the Sleek Cream Contour Kit. I love cream contouring, and this is the shade Extra Dark, but they do have a dark one, they have a medium one and a light one, I believe, and maybe a fair. I'm not quite sure, but they have a few shades, and this is what this one looks like. I don't really use the ones at the top. They're meant to be like under eye concealers and stuff, but I have concealers that I absolutely love, so I typically just use it for the cream contours. Now these blend so well and they're so creamy, really nice and deep. They definitely add the dimension to your face. This palette is one that you might have to shop around for because it is £10.90 on some places, but then other places have it. For example, Feel Unique has it for £7.60 and then Amazon has it for like a £5. So shop around for it and find like the most cheapest one basically. Speaking of cream contour, another product which I use daily daily is the Revolution Fast Base Foundation Sticks. So I have the shade F16 and F18. F16 is more of my winter cream contour, but F18 I've been using recently because of course we're coming out of summer and I still have a tan. Now these retail for £5 each, and I just find the depth in these sticks is perfect for cream contouring. So this is F18 there, and they blend out so easy as well. They literally just melt into the skin. And then that is F16, so that's really kind of similar to my skin tone at the moment, but in the winter that will be perfect for cream contour. So Revolution also have these matte base powders. Once again, these are face powders, but because the shades are dark enough for me personally to use as bronzers, I do use them as bronzers. You actually get so much product in here as well. You get 12 grams of product and it is £3. So this shade is P15, and this one kind of has like a reddish grey undertone. So once again, it would kind of be like a contour slash bronzer. The next shade I have here is P14. I think I use this one more in the winter. Can you guys see the Revolution imprint is gone? Very similar actually. They could possibly pass as the same color, but that is 14 and that is 15. And then the last one I have is 17, and this is the warmest out of all of them that I have. This one is kind of orangey. I don't know if you guys can see that undertone, and that is that one there. So yeah, that one definitely has the warmest undertone and would be more bronzer appropriate. The other two are kind of like bronzer slash contours, like brontours, like Morphe says. Morphe is another one I wanted to include in this video, but their bronzer is actually £12, but I've been using it religiously, but unfortunately it didn't make this video. But anyways, those are the 3 matte base powders, and like I said, they are £3. So if you can find a shade that works for you, they're really good as bronzers. But something that I love even more than these, like my favorite drugstore bronzer, it's not really a bronzer, it's a powder, but I love the Revolution Pro powder foundations. I think these are meant to be MAC dupes, like MAC Studio Fix dupes, you can tell by the packaging, but I've been loving this as a bronzer. Can you guys see the warmth in this color? I used it today as a bronzer. I absolutely love this. This is the shade F16, so you definitely can still get F17 and F18 if this one's not dark enough for you, but I don't know the undertones of those two, they might be cooler. But this has the perfect orangey undertone that I absolutely love in a bronzer, and it's so pigmented, like guys. Be careful, it's no joke. Like, you don't want to swirl your brush in there because you'll pick up way too much product and end up with way too much, like a muddy face. So you just want to dab ever so slightly. I literally go like this. It's like dab, tap off. Because it is a powder foundation, it's meant to be like a full coverage powder foundation, so much does come off on the brush. Might as well just top up my bronze. Okay, so that is all of the bronzers that I wanted to talk about. But if you came to me and said, Tammy, on a real, like, what should I use? I would say get the foundation stick and also get the powder foundation. These two are my go-to. I love them. Now the final category is highlighter. So I think it's actually so easy to find a cheap, affordable, good highlighter. So first of all, Primark. Primark has some gems, but the only thing is they change their collection so often. I'm not quite sure if certain things are still in stock, if you know what I mean. Like for example, I bought these Pure Glow highlighters. They are £3 each. Like, look how stunning. I have this one which is called Rose Prosecco, and it's like a rose gold type of pinky color. You could use it as a blush topper if you are lighter, but for me it comes across as a gorgeous rose gold highlighter. And then we have this one which is called Champagne, which is definitely more of a champagne gold. Let me swatch them for you quickly so you guys can see just how stunning these are. But I don't know if they're still available at Primark, but they sit on the skin so beautifully without texturizing the face. They just like melt into the skin, and I absolutely love the formula of these. And they're not too glittery. They don't have any glitter, they're just shine. Do you know what I mean? Another Primark highlighter that I got recently. I don't know how much this one is because the label's not on it, but it's definitely not over £3, maybe 4. But this one's meant to be a dupe for the Kylie Cosmetics highlighters, of course, and this one's called Gold Digger, and look how stunning this is, guys. This one is slightly more glittery than the last two that I showed you, but it is still a beautiful highlight. Like, look at that. Okay, so back to Technic. Technic has this highlighter quad, and it's called Mega Glow, and what I love is it's not too big. Like, even though you've got 4 different shades in here, it's like as big as a normal compact. get, for example, this is the Primark 1 shade and it's literally kind of the same size, but you get 4 different shades in here, so you can like mix and match. You can use some on your face, some on your body. Of course, I clearly just use these 2 down here, but if I wanted to, I could use these on the inner corner. I could use them as eyeshadows. I don't typically do that because I have so many eyeshadows, but if you wanted to, it can be a multi-use palette. But yeah, these 2 shades down here, I typically like the baked formula of highlighters. I just find that they sit so nicely on my skin. So here's the 2 bottom shades that I typically use from this palette. So these 2 at the bottom here, and this is only £4 on the Technic website, but Technic, like I said, they do resell to other websites, so you can typically find it for like £1.99, or you can find it even cheaper on like Fragrance Direct and stuff. So definitely shop around for it if you are interested, but if you really can't find it, then it is on the Technic website for £4. Another Technic highlighter, if you're not into like the 4 different shades, you can buy their Get Gorgeous highlighters, and this has 1 shade inside, of course. This is the shade Bronze, I think. Yeah, I think it's called Bronze, but they do have a few other shades, of course, for like lighter skin tones and medium skin tones. I think you can get this on eBay, but also their website, and just look how stunning. This one is kind of like a cooler toned bronzy color. It doesn't have that gold, it has more like a bronze champagne tone to it, but it still looks gorgeous on my skin tone. It's not super icy where it looks wrong, it just melts in and looks beautiful. So yeah, love this highlighter as well. All of these have beautiful formulas where they're not texturizing or glittery. I don't really like glittery highlights where they're just like glittery particles all over your face. I just like smooth sheen, especially because I usually, you know, break out. I don't want to accentuate those breakouts, so I like highlighters that sit on the skin really, really nicely. Another drugstore highlighter that is so gorgeous, but it is a little bit more expensive than the ones that I've mentioned before. This is from Barry M, and it is £6.50, I believe. Once again, they do have other shades, but the golden ones are the ones I tend to gravitate towards. This is the shade Bronze Deco, and what I love about this is it is like 2 shades mixed together, so it's kind of like that Ofra vibe where you have darker shade here, lighter shade here, and you can kind of swirl them together to get your own, you know, custom shade, or you can just use the lighter one, or you can just use the darker one. I typically just swirl it all together, and it just gives this gorgeous glow. Like, this one is definitely the most pigmented out of all of them, so you do want to go in with a very light hand unless you like that, you know, blinding glow from space type of look, because this is very, very pigmented. But yeah, I highly recommend checking these out. So this is how it looks sheared out, and then this is how it looks, of course, full opacity, but typically this is how you would wear it on your face. So it just gives that gorgeous glow from within. It's not glittery, even though it is so pigmented. It's not glittery, it is just a gorgeous glow. So yeah, now the final 3 that I'm going to talk about are from Revolution, of course, but 2 of them are from their sister brand Obsession, which I am obsessed with. These 2 in particular, I do think they have like 6 maybe shades in this collection. First of all, we have Mega Honey, which is this kind of light golden shade, which looks like this. Once again, it is a baked formula, which I think just looks perfect on my skin tone, and this is what it looks like. With this one, you literally need the smallest amount because it is so pigmented. I don't want to highlight that spot. I'm going to stick the highlight up here. So that is Mega. I might put some up here as well. So that is Mega Honey, and I think it just sits on the face so well. Like, it doesn't, you can't see it from the front, which I love about baked highlighters. Another shade that I absolutely love because it's so unique is Mega Metal. It is slightly like warm tone. It's like a champagne highlighter with warm orangey undertones, and this is what it looks like. So I don't know if you guys can see that orangey undertone to it. I'm gonna put it on the other side because I just realized I didn't put any highlight on this side of my face. I might highlight my cheek right here. Do you guys see that glow? Like, oh my god, I love this highlight. I might match it up actually, put a little bit. Oh god, I just highlighted the spot. No. Yeah, that is everything. Those are my favorite cheap products under £10. There is more cheap products that I love, of course, but they didn't make the £10 mark. So I'm trying to give you guys affordable banging products. If you have tried any of these products that I've recommended in today's video, let us know down in the comment section. Let us know your experience with it. Did you get along with it? Did you not? Because obviously not everything I like you guys are gonna love. Some things that I like you guys love, which is why you my people, okay? Anyways, if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel, and I'll catch you guys in my next one. Take care. Bye.